So who am I? I am Sherron. My stage name is the Modern Savvy CPA. So that is my business name. I do financial education. I'm very passionate about financial education, and that is the goal for the next half of my life, is to educate as many people on how to manage their money intentionally. And one of the things about that is just making sure that it's easy to make money, but it's very hard to keep it. So that's kind of one of my things. And this is...
So I'm Sahily. I've been an attorney for 15 years. I've run a successful law firm, and personal development. I've been doing so much personal development over the last few years, and it's really changed my life. It's changed my business. It's changed my relationships. It's changed so much for me. And so I have been transitioning into coaching now because I want to help other women find the success and the joy and the same love that I have found through working on myself. So that's part of why we're here today. I want to share with you how I start my year every year and how I've been improving upon that process every single year to kick the year off right. And I'm so excited to share it with you guys. All right, you guys, we're going to move right along. First, before we get started, okay, we're going to start working on the workbook. I have a few things to say. First of all, you know, when you're planning an event like this, there's things that always go wrong. And one of those things is the workbook didn't print the pages because the margins were too big. So a little bit of the top is cut off. The pages got cut off. It's totally fine. It's not going to affect the actual substance. So I just might have to give you a little bit more guidance on where we're going and when to stop. Another thing is I kind of want to set the stage for what we're doing here today. So what I would love for everyone in this room is to, just for today, just for the few hours we're together, I want you kind of suspend all of your beliefs and just come into this space with an open mind to all the things we're going to say. Not everything will resonate with you. That's totally fine. Just take what works and reflect on the things that you feel may not be for you. Maybe they are. Maybe you tried them. Maybe it's not for you and you leave it. It's totally fine. Trust yourself. And also with suspending your judgment, I mean suspend judgment and holding space for every woman in this room and all what their dreams and goals and beliefs are, okay? So I don't care if you want to be a billionaire. If you tell me you want that, I believe you. I'm here for you. If you tell me you want to be a stay-at-home mom, I'm there for you. I believe you. Whatever you want. Nothing is too big and nothing is too small. So for today in this room, no judgment. We are just going to be friends. We're going to be comfortable too. If you guys want to kick off your shoes, totally fine. When we do different segments, there's beach towels here. If you have 20 minutes to script something to write and you're like, you know what? I really want to go out on the beach. Go on the beach, okay? It's totally fine. Move around the room, pick a different seat, just be comfortable today, okay? Because this is your time and your space to plan 2025. So I want to start with that. And then I want to go right into the workbooks, okay? So right now we're going to start with a review of your last year. So if you did the homework, you've already gone through your pictures and you've all, hopefully, if you've done the homework, you've seen what a beautiful year you actually did have. Sometimes it's hard to remember that because, you know, a year is never smooth. It's kind of like this, right? You have really low points and really high points. And the reason I love the hindsight board, and if you haven't done it, I encourage that you do it, is because it reminds you and it grounds you to what you've already done. And then the second part of that is what we're doing in the workbooks. I want you to open the workbooks and I want you to do the first part, where is the review of 2024. It's self-explanatory. Go through and answer the questions. And we're going to give you guys 20 minutes to do that, okay? So I'm going to play some soft music in the back so it's not weirdly quiet in here. And then I'm going to let you guys go. You saw what you did last year. If you didn't finish, take a moment to finish later on today or whenever you have time, because evaluating where you've been is super important to guide you to where you want to be, right? So now the next step is to get really, really clear on where you are today and where you want to go. So the next section is going to be this gratitude section. And if you turn to you're in part 2. So if you turn to the next page in part 2, this is something I love to start with. If you've ever done a life wheel, I don't know if anyone's ever done a life wheel. it's just an assessment of where you are today. So if you see here, the top section is quarter one. I think in quarters, when we plan, we're going to plan in quarters as well. So for quarter one, January, February, March, okay, where are you right now at the beginning of quarter one? So go through and fill out, you can shade the little boxes and then give yourself a score. It's 1 through 10 on each area. And then I encourage you to look at the areas that are low in your life and see how you can make them better when you do the next section, which is my favorite part, which is future scripting, okay? And then keep this, because every single quarter at the beginning, you should be doing the evaluation again just to see, oh, I improved this area of my life. Let me work on this one next, okay? So the next section is my favorite section. You're gonna have 20 minutes to do this, and it is a day in the life of your future self who has achieved all the things that you want to achieve in your life. We're not talking about 2025. We're talking about the person who's gotten everything that you think you want in your life. I want you to script out a day in the life of that person, and I want you to be as specific as you possibly can, okay? When are you waking up? Where are you waking up? Who are you with? What are you wearing? What are you seeing? Like, are you waking up in beautiful fluffy slippers? Are you waking up to a beautiful ocean view? Are you waking up with a partner? Maybe you're waking up alone. Forget the partner. What are you doing throughout your day? Are you eating lunch in the morning? Are you working out? Who are you doing that with? Are you working? How long are you working? Are you having lunch? Are you going out? Are you staying in? Are you ordering? What do you see yourself eating? And I want you to take yourself through that entire day to see what you're pulling out of yourself for who you want to become. And that's going to help guide you through what you actually want, what baby step you want to take this year to accomplishing that you ultimately want to be. So I'm going to start a timer again. I actually got the music working this time. So I'm going to get the music up, and please take a moment to do the assessment. And then this is free scripting. Whatever comes up, whatever comes out is fine. Get as detailed as you possibly can. And then at the end, after that, I'll give you a little bit more time for questions, okay? Because then I want you to answer some questions about who you are being, okay?
One of my famous lines when I started networking when my younger son went to elementary school, was when I was in a networking area, and they would ask, okay, what are your goals for the next year? And my goals was no bitches, no assholes, no jerks. I'm like, those are all negative words, and she might throw things at me. But that was my goal. And everybody would look at me. You don't have a number for this. You don't have a number for what you want to make in the new year. You don't have a number for what amount a client needs to have to become a client of yours. And I'm like, no, if they respect what I do and they value what I'm giving them, and they're not a bitch, they're not an asshole, they're not a jerk, then we're good. We're good. So the other, and I'm full of sayings, so people who know me in the room will know that I'm full of these little sayings that I have that takes me through life. And one of the main sayings that took me from young age to as I get older is gratitude makes everything enough. So when I used to make $8.30 an hour, if I was grateful for it, then it worked, and it did. And I wasn't always like that. Because I grew up in poverty, it's hard because we have the scarcity mindset. So I would always pray and ask God, because I'm a very faithful person, pray and ask God, what are you, like, if I make this much money, it'll be enough. If I make this much money, or if I'm getting this, it'll be enough. And sometimes he would give me what I asked for. And I know everybody in this room have gotten that, right? Where you ask for something and it comes to you and it is never what you think it is. It never is what you think it is. You think that that's going to satisfy whatever it is that you feel that you have in you, but it's not. So if you're grateful, I always say people who are good with a little bit of money are going to be good with a lot of money. People who are not good with a little bit of money, they're not going to be good with a lot of money. Hence all the bankrupt lottery winners that we have in the world. So gratitude makes everything enough. What is your gratitude? What is your gauge? Sometimes that is a divine thing. For me, it's a divine thing. I do my best and then God does the rest. My best is always something I'm questioning within myself. So understanding and having the mindset of gratitude makes everything enough. Now, Sahily and I have talked about what it is that I'm saying. Am I saying that you're grateful and you sit there and you say, okay, I'm grateful and I'm done? No. Gratitude, God never said that gratitude makes you satisfied for the moment and you shouldn't have ambition for later. And for a lot of you who knows me, I'm a very ambitious person. So gratitude makes it enough for that moment. God also wants you to use your gifts that you have to explore what it is that your feelings are about moving to wherever it is that you want to go. So while it's enough for this moment, $2 million or sitting on the beach and just hanging out, or just sitting in your backyard and doing a bonfire, that might be enough later. So gratitude is enough for the moment, but you should always be working within your gifts to get to wherever you want to go.
The next section is where we're going to start getting into the nitty-gritty of planning your year, okay? So we're going to go into goal setting. The first part of the goal setting is just a bunch of sections where I want you to brain dump all of your goals in that area of your life. So you'll see it'll be your fitness and, love and romance and your career. So don't get too caught up on that one. Just brain dump all your goals in each area, because after we're done with that, we're going to go in and we're going to pick the goals that you actually want to accomplish this year. Just dump it all into these next sections. The S is the next really important part. How can you make a system that is like dummy proof? Okay, so I'm going to go to the fitness example. If I intend to look sexy and fit into my clothes the way I want to, can I make a system to make sure that I can execute my action? Yes. So you're going to need to go find out. If you can't write it out today, go find out what that system is. I'm gonna go to the gym 5 times a week, and I'm gonna get a program, workout, and my food on autopilot. If you have a specific, like the goal about paying down your debt, you want to be debt free, okay? Can you have a system for that? Yes, you can get with someone who is a financial person, and you can put together a spending plan where you are committing to putting X amount away to
I just taught her that.
down your debt. Yeah, she did. She did. She's awesome with that. I know nothing about that. Talk to her. So you can commit to paying down your debt, and maybe you can even learn ways to do it smarter, faster, so it feels less restrictive to you, okay? So you can implement a system like every week I put away X amount or whatever it is. Again, Sherron knows about that now. And then H is the last one, and this is the one where I really want to switch your brain. Okay, I want to flick your brain on this. Held accountable. Held accountable is, can you track it? But here's what I mean, okay? I don't want you to track to see how close you're getting, okay? We're not gonna get on the scale and be like, am I 130 pounds yet? We're not doing that. Okay, you're not checking your accounts to see how much debt you've paid. What you're doing is you're checking to see, have I consistently done the actions that I said I was going to take in the system that I put together? Have I been doing that every week? Okay, then here's where the feminine energy comes, right? We have the masculine energy where we have an action plan and we have a system, okay? And then the feminine is we trust. You lean back, you do the things you need to do, and trust that it's enough. It's Sherron saying, you do your best, God does the rest, right? So then you're combining these two things. Notice that nowhere in my goal setting did I put a date to it. I didn't. It's not there. For me, it's stressful. If you are listening to me, you're like, yeah, but I want to put a date. put a date. Okay, you do you. But if you've had goals that have been rolling over year and year and year and year, then I really encourage you to try and frame them in a different way. Try and feel into what you're intending to do and stop freaking tracking whether you've hit the goal or not. And instead start tracking, have I been to the gym 4 days a week? No. Whoops. Okay. Readjust. Why not? Evaluate. Well, you know what? I thought I was going to go in the morning, but honestly, the mornings are too busy. I have to do it in the afternoon. Great. Readjust. Okay. Readjust. But the biggest thing is consistency. That's why you want to track it. Not so you can beat yourself up, not so that you can say, well, I didn't hit it yet. It's so that you know that you are doing everything you need to do. And with consistency, you will eventually get there, I promise. Okay, we're gonna move on to the very, very last section. Don't fret if you didn't get through all your goals. You're gonna have a good amount of time now to actually go in and plan. So if you didn't finish that section, okay? So Sherron's gonna lead you through this slightly overwhelming next section of the work.
So when Sahily and I was trying all of this on our own, right? Because we did try as much of this as possible. One of the things that I like to do is put myself in the other person's shoes to see what's happening. So I challenged her a lot. And it was frustrating for her sometimes. So I would play the way our partnership has been working is I would play devil advocates and you know, well, what don't you understand about that?
A lot of it really was because I wish I had more time. So when I do this by myself, the beginning of every year, I give myself a lot more time than 4 hours. But, you know, we're limited to 4 hours. You are busy. You have families and businesses. So the challenge is how to get this information across in this 4 hours.
And that was literally one of our challenges. When I told her to do this in an hour and a half, she said I was losing my mind, which is true. And then when we worked it into 4 hours, and we're going through everything, this is actually would make a great weekend retreat. And I believe that you guys would get more on that. So on that, I'd like to apologize on our behalf that we tried to cram all of this in 4 hours because it doesn't do it justice. So with this section, we're going to be working backwards. And what do I mean? What do we mean by working backwards is that you're starting with your 3 goals for the year, and we're going to leave it at 3.
So if you have a fitness goal, okay, this page that says quarterly milestones, okay, you'll see it's broken down into quarters. Each quarter has a space for 3 goals. Start with just your 1 goal. Focus on your 1 goal. Okay, if I want to, by the end of the year, want to be fit, lean, and sexy and fit into all my clothes, like a whatever. I don't want to say the word I'm thinking. Then what do I need to do? Okay, if you already know what you need to do, then start filling it in. Give themes to your quarters. Okay, quarter 1, I'm gonna focus on my food. I know I gotta get my food under control. So I'm gonna spend the first quarter just on food, okay? Second quarter, I'm gonna dial in my working out because I'm all over the place. I'm giving you real examples. I'm all over the place. I'm sporadic with working out, okay? Quarter 3, maybe I'm gonna spend quarter 3 focusing on the one part of my body that I really want to get like an amazing shape, which is my butt. And then maybe quarter 4, you spend it on, you know what? I've been doing all this work. So quarter 4 is going to be, I'm going to find a new wardrobe for myself because I said I wanted to fit into my clothes, right? So you give yourself themes for each quarter. It doesn't mean that in quarter 1, when you're only focusing on your food, you're going to forget about moving your body. You're going to move your body, but you're not going to beat yourself up if you can't get to the gym 4 times a week. You're just going to do your best while you're focusing on your food and dialing that in for 3 months. That's the goal of this.
So I like to say, and I have all these sayings again, is we as women, we have a list. It's an endless thing, right? We have everything on the list. And like Sahily said, we think we can accomplish all of it at the same time. Well, my priority list, there's a lot on it. But there's only one number 1, one number 2, one number 30. You could move number 30 to number 1, but then number 1 has to move somewhere else. So if you're concentrating on one thing at a time on your priority list, so it's not like you only are working on number one, but number one is the priority for that moment. So number two comes in second and everything else. So we as women do not like, and I don't know if you guys, I personally do not like to take anything off my list. I am going to take my children's college one off my list very soon, which totally happy about that. But we don't like to move stuff off. There are things on my financial priority list that is going to be there forever. So, but we're just moving it and resectioning what our priorities are. So that's how I look at the goals, is like if I'm going to my first goal, my second goal. So my first goal, like Sahily said, is my exercise goal. That's not mine. That's hers. She keeps talking about the butt. That's hers. Just so you guys know. Is the exercise goal? Yes, you have 4 things to get to that. But not because you're prioritizing the food, you're not working on the other 3. But just the food is what you're concentrating on at that time.
And so once you set themes for each of your goals for each quarter, then you can move on to the next page, which is like, okay, well, if my theme for quarter 1, goal 1 is get the food right, then what do I have to accomplish in January? What do I have to accomplish in February? And what do I have to accomplish in March? So maybe in January, you work on finding a good nutritionist that's at the right price point that you trust, that has amazing reviews that you vibe with, okay? And then maybe in February, you work on executing that plan to figure out a plug and play food list that you can make for yourself, where you know you can always have a system of eating the right way. And month 3, you're going to refine that system. Those are the goals for your quarter. Okay. Don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes you'll have a goal where you're like, you know what? I don't know what I have to do. Okay. That's fine. Then quarter 1 is going to be learning what you have to do. Okay. If you don't know what you have to do to lose the weight and look sexy and all that stuff, then quarter 1 is me finding out. I'm going to do my research in January. I'm going to spend, you know how research is. You can go into a dark hole of research. Everybody has something to say about fitness. Everyone is different. You hear this thing from the other who contradicts it. So you're going to go maybe spend January really learning and learning about the different, because your thing is, you want to have sexy body. So all of quarter 1, you're going to learn about nutrition and diet. Those are going to be your goals. And you stop there, because you know what? We can plan all we want, but things happen in life. Things change in life. Things are adjusting in life. So get as far into this as you can. Don't stress. It will change anyway. Okay.
And these are all you guys' goals. So like Sahily said at the beginning of this workshop, and we're towards the end now, there's no judgment. There's no judgment zone. Like, she might want to go to the gym and exercise and eat right. I go to the gym, I exercise and eat right, but I'm probably going to be going into menopause. So I might want to find a good plastic surgeon that's going to give me a nice tummy tuck.
You do you.
If that is it that you guys want, no judgment.
Perfect.
So if that's where you're going to get to your goal, this is your judgment. This is what you want to do. Always eat right and exercise, but sometimes that doesn't work. Yeah. So,
Okay, so we're going to give you guys some time, and we'll be available if you have questions. I'll probably come and snuggle up next to you, see how you're doing, because I know this part is a little bit challenging. So, okay. We're going to end on one of the most fun things that I love to do every year, and it's called the live list. Okay, it's the very last page, and you can see it's labeled 1 through 50. Charlotte's smiling because she's done it with me before, and we love it. This is the fun part. Okay, what do you want to experience in 2025? Okay, think small wins. Think things that you can already do for yourself, okay? So this is the list that you go to when you're like, you know what? My life is feeling a little bit boring, a little bit stagnant. Maybe I have some free time, whatever it is. What do I want to experience in 2025? For me, I want to add a yes day for my daughter. A day where I'll just say yes to anything she wants. You want to go to Disney? Yes, let's just go. Whatever. So really just nothing is too small to put on your list, even if you want just a whole new drawer of underwear. Okay. So I want to give you time to write your list as much as you can think of. And then I want to do the fun part of sharing each other's pieces of the live list, because I feel like as you share and you share and you share, other women are like, oh my God, that's amazing. I want to add that to my list. So you can build your list like that as well. So questions about live list? No? Okay, good. Let's go into it. We want to talk about the last little thing here. It's the next like logical step. You've gone through this with us. I feel like you've been through the ringer. Okay, I know it's a lot of questions. It's really intense. And so I am going to really play. If you heard nothing else that I said, I want you to hear this. If you haven't finished your plan, finish it. If you haven't put a system together, finish it. Make that your number one priority, and then find an accountability group. Okay. Sherron and I are going to have an accountability mastermind. I'm going to put up a frame that has a QR code. You can look at it if you want. If you want to join us, if you feel called to join us, join us. There's going to be a discount if you sign up by the end of Sunday. But if you don't want to or you can't, please find a friend. Find a good friend that you trust, that you love. It's going to be honest with you, that you can every single week check in with them. Set your intentions for the week. And then when you speak every week, you say, did I complete the things I said I was going to do? Yes. Awesome. Celebrate yourselves. We don't celebrate enough as women. If you didn't, why not? Evaluate. You know what? Maybe sometimes it's just as easy as like, well, I tried doing it in the morning. It's not my best time. I have to do it in the evening. Or you know what? I'm giving myself too much. I need to go a little bit slower. Hear me in your head going, go slower, right? And then set your intentions for the coming week and keep making those little tweaks until you are taking consistent actions. But if you don't tell somebody, if you don't have somebody to keep you accountable, we always put ourselves on the back burner, right? We always do everything for all other people. I'm the biggest offender. If Sherron needs something, I'm there. If my daughter needs something, I'm there. But then when it comes to me, like going to the gym 4 times a week, I'm not there. I'm like, well, I'm tired and I didn't sleep well, you know? So we always make excuses when it comes to us. So you are the most important person. Without you being healthy and happy and relaxed, the other people in your life cannot benefit from having that person that they need to be on point.
Other people in your life cannot benefit from your awesomeness.
Exactly. So I'm going to put that up on your way out. Check it out if you want to, but if not, please grab a friend and make sure you're doing accountability.
Thank you guys. We really appreciate you. And if we do it again as a retreat, share it with your friends.